Alright, just one more quick little video before I go for Vegas. Let's see. I'm gonna cover splitting clips. So you can cut a clip in half. You can take out the middle of a clip, so you just have the beginning and the end. You have to split clips to change effects, to change speed. That's a really useful thing to have. I'm gonna go over also some commonly used like transitions and video effects. Used all the time. So I'm also going to go over really kind of basic keyframing. I kind of mentioned it before in earlier videos, but I never really got into it. So I'm just going to show you like the most basic keyframe on this video, then I'll get more into that later. But it's still enough to add decent effects. Yeah, so apparently people aren't allowed to walk up and down my street without my dog going to go bark at him, so that's what that was all about. Anyway, fucking okay. Anyway, where I left off. What else? Changing speeds. I'm gonna go over 3D source alpha, so you can change. Instead of just regular panning and cropping, you can have it move like in 3D text and stuff like that. Finally, the last thing is gonna be chroma keying. I did that at the beginning of 6 video with the little guy dancing in the beginning that I'm sure just everyone loved. And that's a really cool thing to know how to do. So I'll go over that. So, first things first is splitting clips. So I'm just going to take a random clip right over here, and we're going to split it. Click anywhere in the clip, doesn't matter where, highlight the clip and just press S on your keyboard. When you notice that, when you click that, you'll notice that you now have 2 separate clips. What this allows you to do, you can add a crossfade in between them. So click this and drag it in. You get this little 1-second bar right here. So you're watching this, and it crossfades. That was a bad example, but you can use it on different clips. Putting those back to how they were before. You can, let's say I only wanted this part of the clip and this part of the clip. You could put it here, split, bring this over here, split, delete this. Let's say extend this out a little bit, 2 seconds out, and then add like a 2-second fade. So there you go, you just cut out the middle. So we're in the middle here, it fades, goes to the second part of the clip. That's if you have like a big huge 2-minute long clip and you want to trim it down to just like 30 sec my bad. Trim it down to like 30 seconds, you can do that. Splitting clips, you can also do that to add the most basic transition that you can put in between splitting clips is a flash. I did this, I want to say the 5th video. It's not hard to do at all. And yet I can't find out. Let me just find like a one-on-one fight. Here we go, because it looks best here. So let's go. I ended up killing this guy right about there. Cool. So you want to do it right before you're gonna hit the special. So call it right about here. So we're gonna split the clip right here. Go over to transitions. Click on flash and add a hard flash in between the two, like that. So watching it slowly hitting more, it flashes. I come in, there you go. That's the easiest, like most basic, I guess, effect or transition you can put between 2 splitting clips. You can also do, I mean, I'll get into it more later, but splitting is a big thing to know. So that's splitting clips. What's the next thing? The rest of it's kind of self-explanatory. Changing speeds. I won't really go over that, but basically it's just the same thing with the velocity bar. You can make the first one like double speed, then slow the second one down to like a -30 speed or something like that to make it really slow. 3D source alpha is next. To change that, come over to your little tab right here, click on compositing mode, and select 3D source alpha. It should just be on regular source. So if you add in some text right now, just insert okay. once you have it, you can do this on video too, but it's a lot easier to learn how to do on text. Come over here to this top one over here that says track motion. Click on that, and you get this right here. I'm going to get more into keyframing later in this video, but just kind of start over here. Really, the only thing you can change the x-axis, but I've done this a few times before, and I found it's kind of just easier to use the y-axis. So the easiest thing, you know what? I don't remember exactly which ones I used, but I used this in Cody's video, the one I just did last night. Not that one. Let me just get the numbers that I was using because I can't remember what numbers they were. Okay, so first keyframe, I put y at negative 1012. So why don't we just say negative 1000? I think that shouldn't be too far off. So click on this, come over to y, type in negative 1000. Second keyframe was barely any further, and that was negative 225. How much? Where was that? Yeah, it was like right after it. So just drag this over and change this to negative 225. So when you watch it, and it stays there, but we'll fix that later. When you watch it, basically it just spins around, you know, a bunch, and from there, if you want to keep it spinning, come back over here, add another keyframe over here, and whatever the difference between whatever 225, that's about 800. So you want to make this one 800 higher. So whatever that is, like 575, 600 something. Just make it 600, and it'll keep spinning. 3D source alpha is pretty easy. You can have it do something like let me mute this real quick. Basically, have it do that. All I had it do was a really easy just spin back and forth. But you can also do, I did the exact same thing on my 6th video, except that was a lot more kind of intense. But whatever. Okay, kind of skipping around a bit. We're going to go back right into keyframing, just kind of keyframing in general. First thing we're going to learn how to keyframe is panning and cropping. I know we've already done panning and cropping, but there's kind of some things with this that you have to learn how to do that I didn't even know how to do, like me and all my anyway okay, so I mentioned earlier on in a video that if you wanted to add a keyframe out here and make it do something else, but you wanted no keyframes in between and you wanted this one to be different, you'd have to really I'd explain how to do that later. This is where, because see, the problem is, let's say I want to put the cursor right here, and at the beginning, I want to have it, just kind of this normal view, but right here, I want to zoom in to here. Let's just pretend we killed someone here. If I were to watch this, all it would do is, from the beginning, it would slowly zoom into this space. What we want it to do is stay, kind of how it was at the beginning, then really quickly just move on to where we want it to go. To do that, you have to add a keyframe that's exactly the same as this one right before this one. So to do that, put the cursor right in front of it and double click, and you'll add a new keyframe. Since this one is just zoomed all the way out, we can just come on this, right click and hit restore, and then the next one is in here. So now when we watch it, it stays out here the entire time instead of zooming in. Then real quick, zooms in, stays there, and then you can have it also, say you want to have it zoom back out, put it back here, and slowly, we can put this here, and then, have it zoom out even a little bit more, and then drag that out to there, and then even add one here, and just restore it to how it was. So when you come back here, and you watch it, after the fast zoom in, slowly zooms back out until the end of the video where it finally gets restored to how it was. So that's the first keyframe. This, let me get another real quick example in here. In the 5th video that I did, there was one where I zoomed in on some text, and this took me we are right, yeah. Wow, I'm cool. Okay, it's right here. So you notice that the thing that I want to zoom in is him saying, "Let me claw right here." So to do that, you have to have a keyframe. My keyframe out here was focused on that part of the screen. In here, it's focused on that. Then it zooms into there, stays there for a while, then comes back out to how it was. So that's how you do that.